Welcome everyone to Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2024. If you haven't checked out my pro basketball Dynasty on this same channel, let me explain a bit about uh, who I am and how I'm going to go about doing this Dynasty or League or Legacy, whatever you want to call it. I am a huge college basketball fan. I think college basketball, in my personal opinion, and I know most people disagree, but my personal opinion, college basketball is the best sport on the planet. And it's ultimately because of the tournament at the end of the season. There is nothing like it. 68 teams, single elimination. You usually have several upsets. You usually have a really dominant team that's really been either good all season or a team that's just getting hot toward the end up winning the whole thing. I think because of how much depth there is to that tournament in terms of what can happen. That's what makes college basketball the best sport on the planet. That is what it all boils down to, and to me it's more fun than the Super Bowl, it's more fun than the NBA Finals, it's more fun than even if they make a playoff series for college football, which I understand that they're sort of starting that and doing that. The 64 or 68 teams, that that's the greatest thing in sports, in my personal opinion. And ever since I was about 7 or 8, I have been watching the Kentucky Wildcats every single game that I've been able to get on my TV or listen to on my radio. I've listened for 20 plus years, probably around 24, 25 seasons now. And I have memories. I can't even, I'm speechless trying to talk about the things that program has meant to me personally. Um, just memories watching them winning the championship in 2012, meeting some of my favorite players of all time. It's been such a great ride, and I've done this college basketball game for several seasons. I think the first version I remember downloading was 2017, and I've never actually uploaded um, a dynasty or whatever you want to. This is called a league. We'll just call it a league because that's the official term used in this game. So I've never uploaded a league of any kind from through the college basketball version anyway. And we're going to get started on that tonight. Real quick plug on my pro basketball league. It's on this same channel. If you view my channel, there's a playlist. There's about 50 videos now, 49 or 50. It's of a league we started. We're about 6 seasons in through the pro basketball version of this game. And I've had a lot of fun making that series. So if you're into that sort of thing, check that out. But this is going to be about college basketball. And I'm going to do the Kentucky Wildcats on this game. Um, I know a lot of people with these games, they try to take a team or a college that hasn't had a lot of success and they try to build a powerhouse out of it. And if I'm being completely honest, through playing this game for multiple years or versions of this game, and even growing up and in college, even to this day, I'll still play College Hoops 2K8. I've got a copy of that. I still play NCAA Basketball 10. I still play. The PS2 had some great college basketball games. I love March Madness 2004. I love College Hoops 2K6 on the PS2. Actually, College Hoops 2K5 is probably the best PS2 game, but I'm rambling now, so I apologize. I will ramble. It's one thing you have to learn about me early on. When I get talking about these types of games, I will ramble because I love making these types of leagues and trying to win championships. But it's much harder to take a school that hasn't had a lot of success and build a powerhouse. And I have had some success doing that, but I've also had some failure doing that. And I would hope to make something that's going to have some degree of success, so that some degree of guaranteed success, so this isn't an ultimate failure right out of the gate. So I'm going to be completely honest and upfront with how I set this up. You guys are going to watch me set this up. I'm going to be playing as the Kentucky Wildcats in a sandbox league, which basically means I can't get fired. And we're going to see how much success we can have. And the only stipulation I'm going to hold to myself is that every season I do want to take one scholarship and give to a Kentucky player, someone from the state of Kentucky. The rest of the scholarships can be to whoever, but at least one scholarship a year I want to sign a Kentucky player. And that's how we're going to do. We're going to see if we can win any championships, see how many Final Fours we can get to, and so on. And we're going to go ahead and jump into it here, and I will set the league up. And like I said, we are going to do a sandbox mode, which basically means this thing will go ever how long I want it to, which hopefully it'll go for a whole year until college hoops, or I'm sorry, college pro draft day sports college basketball 2025. I'll get it out in a second. Comes out next year. So we're going to go ahead and we'll just call this save file Gramps Gaming. The league name will be NCAA. And if you want to, there are several mods with this that are pretty easy to install. They're on the Wolverine Sports website. Just click on the forums, go to the mod section, and follow the instructions. It's pretty easy to set this up. We'll go ahead and put this logo here. It's pretty easy to put these in so that it's a lot like the real life tournament that we have. You know what? I'm going to use all words. All right. And this will be the NIT, CBI. I think this is the CIT is the fourth tournament. I think we want to run with the default file. Hopefully that's what we want to run with. I like using, you can use different types of scales on this game. You can use a 1 to 10 scale, but I prefer the 1 to 100 because it allows things to get a bit more detailed. See, if you use the 100, Adjusted scale. The league ratings will be adjusted to fill a 100-point scale. 1 to 100 real scale will place the players on a 100-point scale, but their displayed ratings will be closer to their actual ratings, which are created on the same pro scale. Oh, I understand. So if we use the 1 to 100 scale, it will be as if it's being judged based on the pro basketball version. And I'm not going to be uploading these classes to the pro basketball version. So we'll use the adjusted scale. Yeah, I want to do just declare after one season if you want to. We'll just leave this average, we'll leave this normal. Yeah, we'll allow conference movement if other teams want to move conferences. That's fine with me. We can do the modern day transfer portal. I'm a little bit worried about that. I've honestly never, I think this may be a new thing with this game. Maybe it was in last year's version. If I'm being completely honest, I don't have a lot of experience doing the transfer portal stuff, but I would like to run with this. So we'll see how that goes. We'll go ahead and leave it enabled for right now. We'll leave that on normal, and we will continue. And we'll go ahead and select a picture. I am not blessed with having much hair, so we will pick somebody who doesn't have much hair. There's a lot of clothing options here. Oh, I do not like that. I look like a James Bond villain. We'll just pick something. Oh, looks fine. All right, we're just going to name this Gramps Gaming. And 32. Do you want to have an explanation on the Gramps Gaming thing? That's just a nickname I've sort of picked up for various reasons uh, from certain friends who just call me Gramps. It's a long story, but it's a nickname that suits me pretty well. Ambition, I mean, we want to have high ambitions. Academics importance, we'll just do average. Discipline level, we'll do average. Select integrity level, we'll do high. Temperance level, I'm pretty mellow and happy most of the time, so we'll pick that. Philosophies. My philosophies tend to change based on what the team needs. So I'm going to leave this what this is for right now. If I feel like we need to step up on rebounding at the expense of fouls, I will increase that or decrease it depending on what needs to happen. Also in terms of pace, rotation, you can see everything available here. I will switch these accordingly based on strengths of whatever team I currently have. So we're just going to leave this here for now because I don't know what the team's going to be like. I'll end up with skill settings. This is, you can select this and it gives you a sort of coach model to start off with and something to also aspire for. And I don't want this to be a complete cakewalk. So we're going to start off with average and aspire to be elite. And that will be how we start off. And hopefully we can grow into having an elite coach. And we are going to take the Kentucky job. So let's find Kentucky. I think that selects that job offers are based on your skill level. But we're doing a sandbox. So I think this means I take the Kentucky job. Wait just one second. Let's see, Kentucky. Yeah, it says head coach. So yeah, I think that's what that will be. All right, here we are. We are ranked 23rd. And are we ready to start the season? I think it may run as if we're doing an off season to begin with, because we're at the budgeting stage. It says here, let's look at the players before we do anything and see where uh, players are from. Here is our team. So we have, I like to sort these by position really, so let's go ahead and do that. Our point guards, we have Aki Riggs from Lexington, Kentucky, Preston Woodruff from Monticello, Kentucky. That's our 2 point guards. Shooting guards, we have Mike Bush from Rollins, Wyoming, Chris Ford from Shawnee, or I'm sorry, that is not Shawnee, Suwanee, Georgia, Marino Roma from Henderson, Kentucky, Dwayne Montage from Princeton, Kentucky, Adam Young from Braithwaite, Louisiana, Dion Allen from Manchester, Kentucky, Antonio Brooks from Berea, Kentucky, Alex Blair from Sabakio, Arkansas, Will Davenport from Olive Hill, Kentucky, David Watson from Lake City, South Carolina, Alice Calhoun from West Liberty, Kentucky, Dominique Burns from Campbellsville, Kentucky, and Rudy Kenyard from Firth, Nevada. So this is our team we are starting off with. If I'm being honest, this is kind of a weak team for a Kentucky team. We have one 4-star player, one 3-star player, and everyone else is kind of beneath that. So we have a lot of work to do, looks like. And I don't know if these seniors are graduating right now and we're playing the off season and we're going to have a chance to draft some fresh or recruit some freshmen, or if this is the team we're actually going to have going into playing games, but we'll see what happens. And that is that. So let's check our email. Here we have the 9th best recruiting class, looks like. So I think this is the team, for the way this is looking, that we're going to have to start off with. So we may have a lot of work to do. Hopefully we'll make the tournament at least. So let's view stage. That should be what we want to do here. Whoa, okay. Sorry about that. Let's look at the options. We have everything turned off. I don't want the computer to do anything for me, at least not at this current moment. If I need help with something, I may do that at some point. But for right now, we're leaving these off. And we're going to slow simulation. We can do this on the important or relevant games. I think that basically means that we'll do slow simulation on teams that are ranked, teams that are in your league or your team. And basically that means all these games are going to be simulated really, really quickly. But for the important, relevant games, they'll pause on the screen for 3 or 4 seconds so you can see what's going on and the games you need to know about. And we're also going to default to simulating these games. I think my plan for this is to have a video completely full of the non-conference games. Then we'll do a video of the conference games. And then we will do a video starting with the conference tournament. And we'll actually play the conference tournament games and the NCAA tournament games. Those are the games we will actually play and not simulate. And we'll simulate the rest of the games. And this should allow us to move through seasons fairly quickly to do it that way. So that's kind of the plan for right now. And that may change depending on how things go. Anyway, we have budgeting here to decide, and honestly, to be honest with you guys, we're just going to let the AI decide this for right now. So let's go ahead and advance that. And now we're on a summer travel schedule. So I don't want to skip the summer. So we'll keep going. Summer travel. Yeah, this allows us to pick which regions of this country that we're going to look at in terms of trying to pick up college players. And I'm wondering how many scholarships I have, because you see, if I have the AI suggest, they say I attend the national camp and all these other camps. We'll go ahead and do that. The Memphis Hoop Summit has most of the players from the region we're probably going to be looking at, including the Kentucky players. But I really have no idea how many scholarships I have to start off with. Can I click recruit players and figure that out before deciding this? I think so. Oh, no, we can't. So I don't know how many scholarships I'm working with here. So I think to be on the safe side, we should do this. We should attend multiple camps. That way we can look at players from all across the country. So let's go ahead and advance that as well. And by the way, I'm from Eastern Kentucky. I actually we have a player on the team here who is from Manchester, Kentucky. I can be in Manchester in about an hour. So I live pretty far east Kentucky. Recruiting begins. So we can now recruit, I believe. So let's click recruit players. You want to click recruit players before you click advance, because looks like we have 4 scholarships to work with, by the way. But if you just click advance on recruiting without actually interacting with these players, you'll lose an entire week. I've done that before on earlier versions of this game, and that stinks to lose a week because you accidentally clicked advance before you're supposed to. Hello, Coach. Welcome to the recruiting screen. This message will only show on this date in the first season of a career just to help you get situated. There's a help button available to you on this page at all times, which will have helpful hints and tips whether you are a grizzled vet of the series or brand new to the game. The recruiting experience has changed drastically, so please take time to look around the screen and don't forget to view that help section as well as the dates button to make sure you know when things will be happening. So I guess to some extent we'll be learning this together because I've not played this version yet of this game. So we'll go ahead. Let's click the help button just to see what it says. Yeah, it looks like a lot of this stuff has changed. There's sort of a letters legend for what the different letters mean. View region map. Okay. So we have 4 scholarships, and let's look at the team once again to see. So we are basically recruiting players who will play on the team next season. So not this season, but next season. The team you see here will be the team we play with this season. And we have 2 point guards, and they're both seniors. So we definitely, I think, need to probably spend 2 scholarships on point guards. We have a couple of shooting guards that will still be available next season. We have 3 small forwards, none are seniors. We have 4 power forwards, 1 is a senior, so we still have 3 left there, and 2 centers. And 1's a freshman, 1 is a sophomore. So I think we definitely need to get 2 point guards. And honestly, I don't think it matters so much on specifics for the other 2 scholarships. We'll try to get non-point guards with those scholarships, but we need to spend 2 of our scholarships on point guards. And the other 2 doesn't matter so much. I think we just need to get 2 good players. So that's what we'll be looking at while we're recruiting here. Let's go ahead and look at the state of Kentucky. And we do have a point guard here from Kentucky, Dana Church. Let's click Dana Church from Corbin, Kentucky. Corbin's not terribly too far away from where I am. Maybe an hour and 45 minutes away, hour and a half, something like that. Let's, I think we should offer this guy a scholarship. He's the best player coming out of Kentucky for next season, and he's a point guard, which is exactly what we need. So let's offer Dana Church a scholarship. Let's watch his film, host the recruit. We'll add him to the call list, add him to the watch list, and we can see here he's interested in Florida, Louisville, Georgia Tech, Kentucky, Florida State, and Yale are the teams he is looking at from Corbin High School in Corbin, Kentucky. So we can see his information here. And this will be the one player that we try to get from Kentucky this season, this 4-star player from Corbin. Now let's go to all regions. This should take us back to, yeah, these are the top players in the league. And let's look at Greg Tucker. He's the best player available. He is a point guard, and he These are the schools he is interested in, so I do not see Kentucky. That can change. I don't know if he want to. Yeah, there are no players that really have anything beyond like a cool interest. I'm assuming though that these players are at least in our we're at least on their list. Let's look at Jamal Milton. He's a 5-star point guard. We are on his list. So we probably do have a better chance of landing Jamal Milton than we did the previous player we were just looking at because we are on his list. He is a 5-star point guard. So from Johnson County High School out of Wrightsville, Georgia. So let's go ahead and offer Jamal Milton a scholarship. And we can also see that we have some other 5-star players here that are available. We have Sheridan Powers from Hollywood, Florida, from Hollywood Hills High School in Hollywood, Florida, who is the best small forward available. Here we can see he's the #1 small forward available in the country. So let's offer him a scholarship. And we also have Tim Clark, but we've already offered Powers a scholarship, and Tim Clark plays the same position. So while we may want to put Tim Clark on the watch list, I don't want to offer him a scholarship right now. We'll wait to see what happens with Sheridan Powers. I think we should put Esmond Card. Let's offer him a scholarship. He's a power forward. He's the 4th best power forward in the country out of Tennessee. Greenback, Tennessee, Greenback High School out of Tennessee. We'll offer him a scholarship. Add to the call list, to the watch list. And that will be how we use these 4 scholarships. I do want to at least put Tim Clark on the watch list and the call list because we still have plenty of money to recruit with, and if Sheridan Powers decides to go somewhere else, we can go with Tim Clark. I'm also going to put Aaron Charity on the watch list and the call list. Uh, let's go to the second page here because we do have 4 more film watches we can do this week. I definitely think we should at least put another point guard on the watch list. I don't know if we want to go as low as 3 stars. We're trying to do 4-star and 5-star players, being Kentucky. Unless we have to go with 3-star. Here's a 4-star point guard, Glenn Cooper. We'll add him to the watch list and the call list. We'll do these guys as well. Alan Crosby. We'll do Kwame Marvray is a better overall player, it looks like, than Jason Yarbrough. So we'll do one to Kwame Marvray. And we need a center, at least one center to focus on. So let's look till we can find. There's Quentin Walker, a 4-star center here. That might be our best option. Looks like he's the center that's most interested, so we'll add Quentin Walker to that list. And I think that's all we can do for this week. So let's go ahead and advance. This may take a while. This may be all the first video is just trying to get through recruiting, and if that's the case, that will be fine. We have to get through this to get to the games, and we want to have the best team possible. So it's definitely worth spending time recruiting, trying to get the best players. And Sheridan Power says the visit was incredible, which is really awesome. Jamal Milton says amazing time on campus. Dana Church says had an awesome time on the visit. So it looks like those recruiting trips went really well, or the hosting of our recruits anyway went really well. And we have a summer camp here. We can actually go ahead and do recruiting for the next round of recruiting, and we can go ahead and see. Hopefully, we are fourth on Dana Church's list, which I think we were fourth to begin with. Jamal Milton, we are fourth. Sheridan Powers, we are fifth. Aaron Charity, we are second. Esmond Card, we are third. Tim Clark, we are third. And Quentin Walker, we are seventh. So that's kind of where we are right now with those. We're not really first on anyone's list, which is a little disappointing, but it is what it is. We're still focusing on trying to get these 2 point guards first and foremost, so we'll make sure we spend activities with them this second time around. Really want to get Sheridan Powers as well, so let's focus there a bit more. We need to host Esmond Card because he did not come on the first round of visits. We'll also host Aaron Charity and Tim Clark. And we'll get Quentin Walker next time around. It's only 7 players. Didn't we do 10 players? Yeah, here's the other guys. Alvin Crosby, 7th on his list as well. We'll keep watching film from him. Glenn Cooper, we are not in the top 10 apparently, but we'll keep trying with him. And Kwame Marvray, we are not, so we'll keep trying with him as well. And these are kind of the 10 players we're definitely looking at. Hopefully we can land those scholarships. And we have a summer camp coming up, so let's go ahead and advance. Some emails here. These basically just tell which players are available in which camps and which ones who proved to be the most successful in these camps. We can see Sheridan Powers, who we are targeting, did really well in uh, the Indy Elite Camp. So we see Greg Tucker here, who we almost went after, but he's not quite too interested in us, so we're passing on him. And we can go right back to the recruit players. And you can see as long as there are players who are still kind of in this baby blue coloring, these are players we have activities started with for this week already that haven't gone through yet. So that's how you know your recruiting round hasn't went through yet this time around. So we can still continue to go on. There's another camp that is happening. And now it is time for these activities to go through, but let's go ahead and read our emails first. There was some Las Vegas. None of the players on our watch list are in Vegas, by the way, so we can see kind of who those honors went to, but we're probably not going to be drafting any of these or recruiting any of these guys if things especially work out with what's going on right now. So let's head back over here. And you can actually click on anyone contacted. These are the players we have contacted and are trying to reach out to that we're interested in. You can see they're all in baby blue, so we have it. This run hasn't gone through yet. It's about to go through right now as soon as I click this button. If you played these games before, then you probably know all this, but I feel like explaining to those who may not know. Looks like Tim Clark says visit was incredible. Aaron Charity says visit was incredible. And Esmond Card says visit was amazing. So players continue to be impressed by our hosting of them. And you see here, these are all really great players that we're trying to pick up on. We can see if we've moved up any. We are now first on Dana Church's list, and that is awesome. Hopefully that means we can land him. Let's look at Jamal Milton. We are second on his list. We're going to continue to go after these two, the hardest, and Sheridan Powers. It's our top three I think we'll go after. We're fourth on Sheridan Powers' list still. Looks like we'll do Esmond Card next. We're first on Esmond Card's list, which would be really cool. So I feel pretty confident about Dana Church and Esmond Card. We'll just do the rest of these like we're supposed to. We can actually host 3 more of these recruits this week. Better do that before I forget. So let's host Alvin Crosby, Kwame Marvray, and Glenn Cooper. And we'll host Quint Walker the next time around. And let's keep going. I feel good about how these are shaping up so far. I do want to, let's click on Milton real quick. We can actually, he's fairly high on coach discipline. You can actually text these guys and try to chat with them. This guy is from Georgia, which is fairly close. So we can try to pitch school location. He's like, I don't know how to feel about that. We can try to pitch program facilities. Facilities is only one of the things I'm considering, so it's somewhat important to him. Team prestige. I mean, we are Kentucky, one of the best programs historically of all time. So, okay. Try to chat with him a little bit to understand a bit more about what he might want to be interested in, but doesn't seem to be saying too much. Let's also chat with. I feel good about Esmond Card, honestly, and about Dana Church. So let's chat with Sheridan Powers. Doesn't know how to feel about Team Prestige. We'll do one more. Let's do playing time because he'll get a bunch of playing time being the best small forward in the country. Not much to say about that. Man, I don't want to bore them to death, but I'm trying to get some kind of feel on what they are interested in. But let's continue. And we can see we don't have any players in the Chicago region. So that's how that looks. We're still waiting on this round of recruiting. Let's go ahead and advance. Okay, we'll check out the inbox. Should have some feedback on campus visits. Cooper says visit was incredible. Marv Ray says amazing time. And Alvin Crosby says incredible visit. I think most of these players, if you're a school like Kentucky who has some great facilities, then most of them are going to be impressed by what you have to offer. So again, let's go ahead and click on Dana Church. We're still first. He does not care about school prestige. We do know that now about him. Let's click on Sheridan Powers. Still fourth. Man, I hope we can land him. Tim Clark, we are second. So actually, if we don't land Powers, we have a decent chance of landing Clark if he's still available when time comes around. Jamal Milton, we are first on Milton's list now. So Milton, we are first. Esmond Card, we are first. Dana Church, we are first. So I feel great about all those. So Sheridan Powers is the only one I don't feel completely great about. Let's make sure that we keep watching his film and we'll keep going with Esmond Card. Don't want to lose these guys now that we have them. Even if we do our first, we still want to keep their attention and we'll keep learning about different players. And I guess we can't host. I thought we would be able to host Quentin Walker, but that option is not available to us. Maybe he doesn't want to bother with it, even though we are on his list. It's a little strange. Probably a long shot of us getting him anyway. We're looking at other players mostly because I feel good about Card and Milton and Church. So if we get those three, that's just one scholarship left, and that will likely go to either Powers or Clark. So Walker is probably least likely to end up on this team of all these players, so I'm not too worried about not hosting him. So let's keep going along. This round should go through rather quickly. And let's check out our inbox. The Memphis Hoop Summit begins today. Basically, all these do is just kind of give you a better idea of what kind of player you're getting in terms of attributes. Like you can click Sheridan Powers and you kind of get these card grades from these camps that happen. So, and we're still 4th on his list, by the way. And we still don't know much about him. Some players it's hard to get info from. Like we know coach discipline matters somewhat to him, but we don't know much else. We could try to talk to him again. Prestige is very important. Okay, that's good. It's a big factor. It's actually really cool that we know that. Let's go ahead and scout him live. So we know when we get to the end, when we visit the recruit, we can talk to Powers about the team prestige because he's very interested in that. We are still 1st on Milton's list. You can see we're competing with Louisville and Tennessee for this guy. Dana Church, we are still 1st. Location's important. And I mean, Corbin and Lexington are pretty close to each other. So I think we got Church wrapped up, no problem. Esmond Card, we'll still check out what his says. You're still 1st, playing time. You'll get playing time. School prestige is important. We are Kentucky. I think we got him wrapped up. Not worried about it very much at all. So let's go ahead and let's scout Tim Clark live. We can finally host Quentin Walker, looks like it. So Powers is the only one that isn't baby blue color, but we did do this stuff with him, so I think it's just might be a glitch in the game or something why this isn't highlighted, but let's go ahead and advance. Okay, yeah, now it's baby blue, so we're good. Had some more summer camps go through. All these guys were available during the Memphis Hoop Summit. And we can actually see Dana Church was one of the best players in the Memphis Hoop Summit. So that's really cool. So, yeah, this guy can ball, and we know that now. So that is exciting. Hopefully we end up with him. I think we will. I feel good about it. Keep continuing on here. And the Big Apple Showcase happened, but that doesn't really affect us any. We had no one from that showcase we're looking at, so that doesn't really matter that much to us. And we'll go ahead and process this next round of recruiting. We still haven't officially landed one yet, but a lot of times you won't. Looks like Walker had a great time on campus as well, so that's good. A lot of times you won't till the last week or two land a player. So again, let's look at Sheridan. Powers are still fourth. Can't quite move up with this guy. Let's go ahead and we'll keep watching film from all of these guys here. Tim Clark, we're still second for Tim Clark. We're still first for Dana Church. I think we're second now for Esmond Card. Looks like Arizona's moved up on his list. We're first on Jamal Milton. So I've done all I can do on these for right now. So let's go ahead and keep things rolling along. Keep crossing my fingers every time, hoping we land one of these guys, but it hasn't officially happened yet. These are the Norton candidates, which are, well, I'll read this for you. The Norton Award is the most prestigious award given out each year to the player who best demonstrates excellence on the court, in the classroom, and in the community. The Norton Committee has announced the list of 50 candidates for the award this season. So this is for the upcoming season. These are your top 50 players who might win this award. And I actually don't see any Kentucky players on that list. So we probably won't have a player that wins that this year, but hopefully at some point we'll have a player that wins that. We'll see what happens. Let's go back to recruiting for now. Still don't have anybody locked up quite yet. Still fourth on Sheridan Powers, not moving up at all. Still second on Esmond Card. Still first on Dana Church. We're starting to get to know more about Dana Church. You can see he's starting to open up more with us and tell us things that he is interested in. Move down to third from Tim Clark. Third for Aaron Charity. So let's continue to go after Powers, Clark. I'll continue to keep going after these guys as much as possible. I'm going to talk to Sheridan Powers a bit more. Let's learn about conference prestige. It is the SEC. It's one of the things he is considering as well. He's also considering facilities. Oh, I almost clicked revoke scholarship. Don't want to do that. Be dumb. All right. At some point, we can visit these guys and talk to them about the thing they're most interested in, and hopefully that will really help land one or two of them. Esmond Card. We know we can focus on school prestige with him. Tim Clark. Probably should get to know more about Tim Clark's side of things in case things don't go through with Powers. He's pretty interested in team prestige is very important to him. So we can keep pitching team prestige to Tim Clark if it comes down to us not being able to land Sheridan Powers. And I feel pretty good about things. So let's go ahead and advance. Still no decisions officially from anybody. Man, can't figure out much more about Sheridan Powers. We'll keep talking to these guys. We're still first on Jamal Milton. Second on Esmond Card. First for Dana Church. So let's keep going. We are in August now, by the way, so we're getting through the recruiting stage. Still a little bit longer left to go. Yeah, I keep checking Powers, but he's still not budging. He's still fourth. Card is now down to third, which stinks. Dana Church still first. Jamal Milton still first. Those are the 2 point guards, which are the most important. Tim Clark, and we have dropped for Tim Clark, unfortunately, down to fifth. But there's not much more we can do that we haven't already done at this point, so we'll keep going. Still no official. We are dropping down on some of these lists, though, which is unfortunate. I did start out with an average coach on recruiting, so hopefully these will be things we can improve on as we move forward. We may have a hard time recruiting some of these top guys early on. Esmond Card, we're still third. Where are we on Quentin Walker? We're actually first for Quentin Walker, so wow. We may end up with Quentin Walker after all. He is just a 3-star player, though, but he was the best center that was interested in us. So, 3-star players can be decent. He really is interested in coming to our school, looks like. So, we may end up going with him if things don't work out with somebody else. It's still no official decisions. We'll keep advancing. This process does take a while. This will be our video for the night, just the recruiting portion. And we can now visit the recruits, which is what I've been waiting for. Sheridan Powers. We are third. We actually moved up a little bit this week with him, so that is awesome. We will visit him for sure and talk about school prestige because that is very important to him. Let's also schedule one for Esmond Card. We are second. He also is big on school prestige, so let's do prestige. Watch film. Dana Church, I feel like we have wrapped up, but we want to make sure and guarantee it. So he is definitely interested in location. We are very close to him. So let's visit Dana Church and talk about locations. We are close school, and with Jamal Milton, we are second. He also is interested in school prestige. So let's talk to him about prestige. And I feel really good about all of those. And we'll continue to watch film for Clark and Charity and the others. Now, usually after this week, you will see a commitment or multiple commitments. It's every chance in the world once we click this next button that Powers ends up going to Florida, I think is his number one school. No, actually Louisville or Florida. So there's a decent chance when we get to the next screen, he will have committed to Louisville or Florida unless he commits to us. Same with Esmond Card. He may end up at Arizona. Hopefully he doesn't. We have things scheduled to talk to those guys. We want them at Kentucky. We will see and cross your fingers. Let's click and see what happens. Okay, looks like we landed 3 of them. We did not land Sheridan Powers. Unfortunately, he went to Pitt of all places. Really? Wow, Pitt comes out of nowhere and lands Sheridan Powers. That sucks. Quite honestly. Man, and Tim Clark went to Louisville. Wow. That stinks. We do end up with Jamal Milton, which is awesome. Esmond Card picked us over Arizona, which is great. And Dana Church picked us, which I think we had wrapped up the whole time. So it is a 4-star point guard, a 5-star power forward, and a 5-star point guard, all coming to Kentucky next season. And we have one scholarship left. We can either give to Glenn Cooper or Quentin Walker. I feel like we should give it to Quentin Walker because we already have 2 point guards coming in. Let's offer this scholarship to Quentin Walker. Watch the film. We may end up with Quentin Walker after all. Guys, he's very interested in the location. He is from Mississippi. That is what MS stands for, right? Missouri is MO. MS would be Mississippi. So let's visit him and talk about location. Heck, we'll go also visit Glenn Cooper. Glenn Cooper's interested in location. So we only have one scholarship to give out though where Powers rejected us. So we've given it to, offered it to Walker here. Man, I can't believe we missed out on Powers. That really stinks. And hopefully the game hasn't frozen up. Come on, come on. Do 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 do. There we go. I was scared for a second. Okay. Oh, there's actually a reveal on these now. That's pretty cool. Let's watch these reveals. Let's see, watch. So this is. I want to begin with this heartfelt thank you to my family, friends, and coaches for their unwavering support. I am overjoyed to declare my commitment today, and I'm thankful to the man upstairs for the talents and opportunities brought me this moment. I guess it will do. And Kentucky is his choice. That's pretty cool. All right, so he went to Kentucky, and that's what those reveals look like. What does it look like if you just click reveal? Oh, then it gives you the text. Okay. Well, we already know these now. We're still trying to land this last scholarship. So scheduling is next. And I'm going to just let this be the schedule. It has set up for me. We have San Francisco, Miami, Ohio, Clemson, North Carolina A&T, Central Florida, Bradley, Temple, Princeton, Boston College, and George Washington as the teams will play this year. So let's continue forward. Advance, I think that's what we click on. We do have an email. Man, Quentin Walker has said we are not the right fit. That really stinks. Wow. So we still have an open scholarship. And Glenn Cooper here went to Arkansas State. Wow. Okay. So we still have a scholarship left because Quentin Walker will not come to Kentucky. He says we are not a good fit. So we'll probably revoke that scholarship. And we can offer that to someone else. So let's look at the full recruit list. And honestly, most of the guys are probably not available anymore. As you can see, most people still have a school they've decided on. So these are players that are all still undecided that are interested in our program. There's a few four-star players I see. Probably no five-star players available. Actually, there is a five-star shooting guard here. Nicholas Cormier from Canada. But we're not on his list really to begin with. Are we on anybody's list anymore though? Because these guys have already been talked to. We can't get Quentin Walker, so let's look at Will Robinson. He's a four-star small forward. Do we actually not know anything about? Looks like he's really interested in Duke and Miami. You may have a hard time. Because these guys have already been talked to by these other schools. So trying to shop around and talk to somebody pretty late in the process. You can see we are at least on the list for Lester Abrams out of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Heck, you know what? Let's go ahead and talk to Will Robinson. We'll host him, and we don't know anything about him, but he is a 4-star small forward. We'll go ahead and talk to several, at least in these early pages here. Some of the best players, the better players that are still around that could be interested. Probably don't want another point guard. They got 2 point guards coming in. Now the rest of these guys are either 1-star players or players you don't know much about. Actually, these are all players you don't know much of anything about. So we'll just deal with these first 6 pages. We'll talk to Corey Weathers. Actually, he's a point guard. I don't want to do that. We'll talk to Lester Abrams. Joe Frey. Brandon Foster. At least try to get a 3-star guy out of this last scholarship. And let's go ahead and advance. Looks like Will Robinson is at least somewhat interested. Let's look at the emails here. Looks like Radosov Spacek went to Kansas. Nicholas Cormier went to Notre Dame. So these are kind of who we have left to deal with. I really like Will Robinson as an option. I don't know if he's really into. Here, let's talk to him. Yeah, he's not saying much to us right now, unfortunately. We're still going to You know what? I mean, I might as well try with the prestige thing for him. Merlo Costa apparently was somewhat impressed by what we talked to him about, so we could really go after him. We don't know much about him either, though. Prestige is not a big concern. That's not really great because we can really sell that. We can't sell location to this guy because he's from Brazil. Uh, Conference prestige is not a big concern. So I don't know if he'll be a great fit, quite honestly. I don't know if we can pitch playing time to him only being a 3-star player. Facilities. He just gave back a sad face. Okay, all right. I'd not be the best fit, honestly. That's okay. Lester Abrams is only a 2-star player, so I really would like to go some other direction before we go with him. Justin Taylor. We're not really even on his list yet, but we can at least talk to him and host him. Host Kevin Eaton, Joe Frey. Oh, he's declined the visit. Wow. Okay, well, we don't want Quentin Walker. He already said no. Talk to Justin Taylor. Can prestige is not a big concern. Conference prestige is not a big concern. We could at least talk to Justin Taylor about facilities. We can visit him and talk about facilities. Joe Frey, I mean, he didn't even want to come visit us, so I mean, I almost feel like just forgetting that guy. Brandon Foster. Prestige is not a big concern. Conference prestige is not a big concern. And facilities apparently aren't a big concern, so we'll just not bother too much with him right now either. This guy's from Myrtle Beach. That's not that far away. He's still not budging too much on telling us much. We can visit him on location. I don't know any of these other guys are interested. So we can advance. Okay, I think we got a rejection, unfortunately. Will Robinson is going to Miami, Florida, unfortunately. So that stinks. So we still have that scholarship. What about Justin Taylor? He is hot on our list now, so is Kevin Eaton. But Justin Taylor is the better player of the two from Australia. He doesn't care much about Coates' prestige one way or another. Justin Taylor, let's talk to him. Okay, neither of these guys are budging too much. Man, are we on? Well, we talked to him about location and went pretty high. We talked to Justin Taylor about facilities, I believe. We're not really in the top 10. So Justin Taylor is a better player, but Kevin Eaton, I think, is more likely to come here. So let's offer this scholarship to Kevin Eaton to try to make sure we get this thing out. We can still talk to Justin Taylor and these other guys, but we'll talk to Lester Abrams about locate. Well, we can't. That's not an option. Never mind. All right, let's continue. Hey, looks like we landed Kevin Eaton. He has committed to Kentucky. You can watch this reveal real quick. So these are the schools he was considering. He's a 3-star player out of South Carolina. And now we have our 4 scholarships dispersed. We have a 3-star player from South Carolina, small forward, a 4-star point guard from Corbin, Kentucky, a 5-star point guard, and a 5-star power forward. So 1 3-star, 1 4-star, and 2 5-stars. That's not bad at all, really. And now we don't have to worry about recruiting until next offseason. Okay, it looks like we have a weekly incident report. Will Davenport kept taking cheap shots at Aki Riggs during scrimmage. Preston Woodruff and Dion Allen slacked off at practice. Alex Blair and Dion Allen spent most of the practice trash talking each other. Will Davenport and Dominique Burns spent most of practice trash talking each other. So we'll get a lot of, well, not a lot of these. Usually you get one of these at the beginning of a season. I think what's most important is you check your team out and morale is good, so that's a good thing. You want to make sure that your star players are happy. Looks like Antonio Brooks is a little in the middle, just not good. But most of the other players are happy. Alex Blair is a little in the middle, but uh, yeah, we can talk to. You can have a meeting with Antonio Brooks. He wasn't one of the players on the list, so I want to try to. Tell him he's doing a great job. Sometimes that does make them happier. Doesn't look like it changed anything with him. You can click on Antonio Brooks and check out his profile. And yeah, it looks like he's maybe a hard guy to get along with. So his coach relationship's not great. Team relationship's even worse. Hopefully that gets better as the season goes along. He's our best player, so a little troubling. Don't have to really worry about recruiting anymore. Looks like we have the second best recruiting class coming into next season with the guys we just were able to secure. So second best recruiting class, I think, is definitely Kentucky worthy. So that's pretty cool. I feel good about that. And practicing and recruiting is still going along. We're about to start the season though. which means I will end this video. This has been longer than I thought it would be, but that is okay. And looks like our first teams will be San Francisco and Miami, Ohio. We're not going to redshirt anyone. I normally don't really redshirt, honestly. It's something I've never really utilized. And the season has began. I do want to at least line up this first game of the season. We have no games opening day, so we can go ahead and simulate this day. And you can see how this is actually really cool. Over here is the Southeastern Conference standings. And we can see here how things play out. You'll see the best teams and the teams in the Southeastern Conference and how their seasons are going as things go along. And we do have a game here against San Francisco, which is how we will start out the next video. So this video may have been a little bit boring. Most of it was just working through recruiting, but it's very important, and wanted to make sure I was as thorough as possible to try to land the best recruits possible. So hopefully we'll have another video up soon where we'll be going through the non-conference section or portion of this opening season, starting with San Francisco here. And before we turn the video off, I will go ahead and check the depth chart so we can see what the starting lineup looks like. Looks like we have Woodruff at the point, Ford at the 2, Brooks at the, well, actually, just 1 second. Let's turn this around. Here we go. So this is suggesting we go with Bush at the point, Brooks at the 2, Allen at the 3, Watson at the 4, Davenport at the 5, and that does have the best players. So even though Bush is not really a natural point guard, that hopefully that'll work out. That's what we'll try to go with. I'm not terribly confident about this first season. I'm worried because we've only got 2 good players and everybody else is kind of like not good. So we'll see how it goes. Uh, and I think if we click place him, it goes back to the screen. There we go. That's what we'll be doing in the next video. So if you like these kinds of videos, check out my other Dynasty going on. I'm going to continue with that Dynasty. That is not stopping. And we're going to continue with this soon, hopefully. And hope you enjoy it. And with all that being said, until next time.